in 8 years. And I'm sure he'll be watching the second semi-final to check out his prospective opponent. Let's tell you who's playing. And from Queensland, both of them, Ray Glasser and Anthony Kiepe. An interesting contrast in age and experience with these two, and let's see how they got there. Ray Glasser, a first-round win in 3 sets over Doug Akers from the Northern Territory. 3 sets also in his second-round clash with Ian Ewing from Victoria. From South Australia, Jeff Ayworth gave him a better run for his money. That won a 4-set victory for Ray. Anthony, he did it this way: 5 sets against Bruce Wallace from South Australia, 4 sets against Chris Hepburn from Queensland, his quarter-final a 5-setter against Bernie Melville from New South Wales. Well, for probably both these bowlers, a bit of pressure they're not used to, Shuey. Under lights, in front of the cameras, could be interesting.
Could be interesting, Steve. Ray Glasser, he's a former state singles champion from Victoria, experienced campaigner. He's been playing for 33 years. Anthony Kiepe, he's only 23 years of age. In the Australian under-25 squad, he's a real up-and-comer.
Let's have a look at the conditions of play, and it's the best of 5 sets. Each set decided by the player first to reach 7 shots. No dead ends, the jack will be respotted, and the players may visit the head only after their second bowl. Well, a yellow jack for our second semi-final. Ray Glasser, not to be confused with Steve Glasson, but if he makes the final alongside Steve, then we might be struggling to get the names right. But Ray, considerably more experienced than his opponent, but that does not mean that he'll have it all his own way against a man who's an under-25 Australian representative and big future in the sport, we would imagine. Anthony Kiepe. Short jack rolled, although unusual incident. As Glasser sent down the jack for the first time, it rolled itself out of bounds. So Glasser, 55, originally from Victoria, but very happy up in these parts for the last 10 years or so. Unseeded, but there you see good results in singles in Victoria and also Queensland. Champion of champions, singles winner in 1997 up here. Anthony looking a little anxiously after this one. Big moment for him, Shuey.
He's up to the task, Steve. Won a state champion of champions singles in Queensland himself. Anthony Kiepe has had international experience for the Australian under-25 side. Very nervous second bowl from Ray Glasser. He went some 3 or 4 metres over. Oh, that is another loose bowl from Ray Glasser.
Only down the one, though. Brian Davies, our marker. So Anthony Kiepe, just 23 from the Mermaid Beach Club. Wildcard entry into this event. Invited in because of his great prospects in the sport. Under-25 representative. And that's still only the 1 or maybe 2.
Beautiful weighted, 3 red bowls there, Steve. He's found the speed of the carpet. First end. Ray Glasser needs another close bowl. Only has 1 anywhere near the jack.
This looks a lot better. This looks the great reply. That's the shot.
Not afraid to play weight. Anthony Kiepe likes to attack.
Might have got something here. Oh, now that jack has travelled too far for Anthony's liking. And it's a question of how many for his opponent. Nearly paid off for him, his boldness.
1, is it?
1, yeah.
Seems to be just the 1, and all 3 parties agree to that. And it's 1 to Ray Glasser to start this second semi-final at Tweed Heads. Well, I wonder if this will be the end, where the set is wrapped up.
Most important bowl in a game of singles is the opening bowl. And one might suggest that is a wasted opening bowl. 1 metre behind. All of a sudden, Steve, Anthony's probably thinking to himself, oh, gee, had the chance on that last end. Ray Glasser is going to have the last bowl on this end. He only needs 2 shots. And this will be one of them.
But if your opponent's got a match lie and you've got 1 bowl to play, Shuey, isn't that the most important bowl of the end?
1 bowl at a time, Steve. Anthony tactically played the right shot here. Almost impossible to draw the shot. Crashing on the shot bowl, that's okay. 1 down, but he has a very close bowl. A lot of players would have switched to the open hand. So he's put pressure on Glasser now.
Ray Glasser does still hold, if you're wondering, at least in the eyes of Brian Davies, our marker.
Very nice light grip on the bowl from Glasser. He's got a long step. Ray Glasser, Steve, he's normally a real chatterbox. He asks a lot of questions of the marker. Normally, it's an indication of how much pressure's in this match. He's hardly asked a question of Brian Davies, our marker. Well, Anthony Kiepe, he's trying to convert early. All or nothing. Still regretting that previous end. Set lie coming up for Ray Glasser, and a very good set lie. Difficult to know, Steve, what he'll play here. He's set down. He's got to play some sort of weight. I think the best result is to play controlled weight on the forehand, looking in this direction. If he's a little bit narrow, he could pump the short bowl, maybe onto the jack. He's got 2 bowls behind. He likes playing weight. Looking, well, he's playing backhand. Impossible to get the jack on the backhand. Clean. He's trying to promote his own short bowl.
Starting to work in now. What's he got? Oh, he's got some kind of result there.
Well, he's temporarily saved the set. He's only 1 down now, so that was a good result. Low percentage, could not get the jack on the backhand. Luckily took out 1 of the counters. Now, Ray Glasser, this would be the type of shot that he knows in his mind he must make. Fails here, 6 all. His opponent will have last bowl on the next end.
It's that previous shot. It didn't look as though Glasser was holding, but a camera angle a little deceiving. Glasser holding 1. If he can add this, he's got the set.
It's all about taking your chances, Steve. Anthony failed with his chance on the previous end.
Oh, looks not quite there. They're stringing it right out.
1 to Ray.
And it's 1 to Ray Glasser. 6 all, first set. Couldn't be closer. This end will decide it, unless, as happened in the first semi-final, we get an end with 2 resting touches. Great start from Glasser. Well, Anthony Kiepe doesn't look like he's thinking about the end, the 8th end, where he really could have taken out this first set. No, why worry about that? Top bowl.
Well, that's the greatest opening 2 bowls of the match from both players. What a reply. Could not see the jack from the mat. He's drawn a toucher.
Pushed Ray onto the backhand. Crunch. Oh, he's got it back, perhaps. Now, a jack has contacted Kiepe's bowl. Did it go back up the rink far enough to favour his own? Ryan Davies is having a look.
Both players would be well advised to come and have a look. Ryan Davies suggesting blue is holding, so that in his opinion the jack rebounded far enough for Ray Glasser.
Not this time. Miss Ray Glasser's not going to miss the opportunity to come down.
So fortunate result for Glasser, springing the jack forward with his last bowl.
Well, he's kept away. Has matched that back bowl of Kiepe's.
It's only 2 shots on, Steve. He can have a full-blooded drive or maybe touch his bowl behind the jack and it could fall in. Tough shot to draw. Might be easy to attack. Clip it off. Clean.
Oh, fuck. Drop that.
Doesn't like it. Was well wide of the target area. A little mutter to himself.
Has both sides covered, left and right, behind. Maybe he could put a short bowl in and blocking.
Across the head, though, unfortunately, that's not really any help.
Well, Anthony must play the same shot again, Steve. If you play a shot and fail, try to correct, narrow the line, same speed.
Needs luck, doesn't get it. That ought to be the set to Ray Glasser. So Ray Glasser taking out the first set 7-6. 7-6 was also the score in the second set, Glasser prevailing, but he did trail 5-0 after 4 ends, so that was quite a comeback. We rejoin the match in the 4th end of the 3rd set. This time it's Glasser with the runaway lead, 5-1. Ray Glasser. Five-one up in the 3rd. It took the first 2. 7-6 and 7-6. I'd forgive Anthony Kiepe if he was feeling just a little downhearted. Good effort first up, though.
Yeah, it's been a case of missed opportunities, really, Steve. Bruce Wallace, top interstate player from Adelaide. That was Anthony Kiepe's first round opponent. Lucky 5-set victory to Anthony in the very first round. Very good bowler, Bruce Wallace. Here, probably hoping that Anthony could go on and win this title. So he could at least say, well, I got beaten by the winner.
Yeah, it did go to 5 sets, but the funny thing about that scoreline was that the 3 sets that Kiepe won were 7-1. 2-7, 7-1, 7-1, 5-7, 7-1. So he won his sets well.
That's perhaps also something that he needs to work on, Steve. His consistency can be red hot at times. And we've seen throughout this match just when he needed to draw an extra shot to win a set.
In relation to the jack, please. The
that
last
consistency
bowl,
just deserted him.
Front of the bowl, centre of the jack. Backwards.
Okay.
Front of the bowl, centre of the jack means probably about 1 inch past jack high. So Ray Glasser, well, he was at 63% the last count. He's dropped just a couple, very consistent. Anthony Kiepe, he's improved. Started at 55, went to 63, now 65%. So he's playing more consistent, but that is not reflected on the scoreboard.
I have to say, Brian Davies' call there just confused me for a second, Shuey. Do you refer to the front of the bowl being the part of the bowl that's closest to the ditch?
No, the front of the bowl is closest to the mat.
Thank you. That's what I wondered there for a moment.
Well, Anthony Kiepe, maybe 3 shots. Is this the fight back? Holding 3. A little bit of a target. Well, Anthony, shake of the head. He probably doesn't like the fact that both those bowls on the left are jack high. Glasser probably swing with controlled weight, Steve, looking for that bowl on the backhand. Plays the forehand with weight. No result at all if he crashes on his short bowl. And to prove me wrong, he's going to say, I think I can get round that short bowl. I just missed with my last. I was too wide. I'll play the same weight, turn of the wrist. Narrower line.
Can he get around it? I don't think so. He's crashing in. This is looking good for Kiepe.
Wow, it's very easy from up here, Steve, but Ray Glasser may have played the wrong hand and allowed his young opponent to draw level.
Ooh, has he? He's got 3. Gee, he could do with 4.
It's unlucky, Steve. It fell out.
About it, I think.
It's got a slide off the outside bowl.
3, Anthony.
Yeah.
3 it is. And he's back within 1 in this 3rd set. It's 5-4 to Glasser. Well, the sets have been tight so far. 7-6, 7-6. This one is 5-4. Glasser with his nose in front tends to succeed coming from the trailing position. I wonder what this 3rd set will bring. Well, you know what, Shuey? I'm going to argue that the bowls terminology that has built up over the years as to what is the front and the back of the bowl is actually a bit confusing, because the leading edge of the bowl, as it travels away from the player, logic, to my mind, would dictate that the front of the bowl is that part of the bowl that is furthest away from the player. I know what you're saying, but
I guess the players on the mat, when they're asking the marker, Steve, is saying that the front of the bowl in their mind from the mat end is the front is the one that's the end nearest to them.
yeah.
I must say, a lot of markers even are not sure on what jack high is. And it is the front of the bowl, looking from the mat end, the front nearest part of the bowl being level with the nearest part of the jack. So jack high is not being level with the jack or in the middle of the jack. It's being the front of the bowl being level with the front of the jack looking from the mat end. Ray Glasser, 2 down once again. Anthony Kiepe what would he give for 3 shots on this end? Everything. He'd be back in the match. He'd be saying to himself, if I could just win the next set. maybe this old fella I'm playing, Ray Glasser, he might have been playing before I was born. He said, I'll show him a thing or two. He's a very modest young lad, actually. He wouldn't be saying that at all, but Ray Glasser might have some self-doubts.
Well, I'll tell you what, he wouldn't give his right arm for 3 shots because he couldn't play the 4th set, but he would like those 3.
It's a real veteran, Glasser. Had a butcher shop with his late father, had a couple in Victoria and Melbourne, and they used to take days off alternatively so they could both play bowls. Ray Glasser's won the Champion of Champions, State Champion of Champions in Victoria, and so has his late father.
He said he would have played more often with his dad if it weren't for the family business that they were both so heavily involved in.
They've also won the Victorian Master Singles, father and son, at Richmond Union, one of the toughest events in the country to win. Learnt a lot from his late father. Also credits John Snell and Dennis Dalton, as bowlers in Australia would know those names very well. Credits John Snell and Dennis Dalton a lot for really inspired him to go on and try to become a much better bowler. 2 internationals for Australia. Ray, state representative for Victoria and Queensland.
Kiepe holding 1 now, and that 1 would level it at 5 all.
A big if, Steve, but if Anthony could trail the jack 60 centimetres, he's won the 3rd set.
He hasn't won it yet. He's still got 1 to play. Ray Glasser. Don't you write that in just yet, Shuey, as you've done in the past.
What a
wonderful, great bowl.
Wonderful bowl. Anthony Kiepe. Well, it must look terrible from the mat. Ray Glasser. All the bowls are practically in a line. He's got nothing to rest on. If he's wide, he would have only 60 centimetres of room to save.
He's following it, checking the line, hoping it helps him out here. Oh, not enough on it. Oh, keep going. Oh, he's still in the set. Still in the set.
Yep, 2.
2 it is to Anthony Kiepe. And he's got his nose in front now in the 3rd set, 6-5. Kiepe, can he push this to a 4th set? And he'll be hoping to a 5th. 1 shot will do it, but if he cares to cast his mind back to the 1st and 2nd sets, and I suggest he doesn't, he'll remember that Ray Glasser climbed back from 5-6 down in both to win at 7-6.
Ray Glasser, Steve, he'll also be aware that he must close the match out in this set. Give this young opponent an opportunity. He's likely to grab it with both arms. He realises he's blown a couple of chances, Anthony Kiepe, but he's an Australian under-25 international representative for the last 2 years. Australian under-25 team is playing Scotland in a couple of months. He'd be hoping to be selected in that side once again. So there's enormous potential. Anthony Kiepe has just played a few loose bowls at the wrong time. That is a set lie and a very good. Well, like to see this young fella score.
Distance,
That lady was saying.
between jack and ball.
1.5 inches.
Thank you.
So if Anthony's been playing under 25s for Australia for 2 years, that means he kicked off at 21. That's a tremendous.
And only started playing bowls, Steve, at 18 years of age. Was fortunate enough to, well, this looks a pretty good line. May swing away on this backhand side as it slows down. Anthony Kiepe, I was fortunate enough to coach Anthony at a 3-day coaching clinic, and his employer at the time in Toowoomba would not give him the time off, so he resigned to come to the coaching 3 days of intensive coaching. He's now future international. He's a greenkeeper at Mermaid Beach on the Gold Coast. And wouldn't he love to make his first national final, as indeed Ray Glasser would.
Well, it's feeling like we've got to give you some credit then, Shuey, if he was under your tutelage there for a few days. And
well, as a coach's nightmare, he knows his technical weakness, Steve. He comes up too quick. Just have a look. As soon as he delivers the bowl, he does not stay down. The body comes, lets the bowl go. Well, he stayed a little bit longer that time. Very important to keep the head and the body still at the point of delivery. He's got one. It's a set lie. That's blocking the drive. Ray Glasser, gap, beautiful gap on the backhand. He will be visualising through the gap, rest the shot bowl out. One to play after that, wrap up the match. Looking good. This is a wonderful attempt coming up from Ray Glasser. No luck.
1 or 2, Brian?
If the answer is 2, Kiepe must keep away from the jack. If it's 1, he must draw a second.
1 for sure and a measure, but I favour the blue bowl.
Well, he's reluctant to come to the head.
it's coming now.
Should have come up, Steve. If he's 1 down, Glasser sits the bowl out, he can win the match. If he tries to cover, that's okay if he's holding 2 shots. That's where he would have been playing if he's holding 2. That is not the shot to play if he's only holding 1. Glasser could rest the shot bowl out, potentially win the match. Needed to come up and have a look.
Well, Glasser's going to attempt to satisfy himself about the shot situation.
Well, Glasser's set down. It's not a disaster if he misses. He can win the match, Steve, if he's only 1 down. Bowl top right coming in. If that is the second shot.
He's got both. If he kills it, he got both. I couldn't.
Wow.
I'm just hoping that's 2.
The other option is, I heard Anthony saying he's got both if he kills it, so he may drive for the jack and send it off the rink. Hopefully, it's not the shot to play, and I don't think Glasser will play it. 3 metres of weight, looking at resting the shot bowl out and staying for a place in the final.
Oh, that's swinging now. He needs some help. Not going to get it. And that is the set to Anthony Kiepe. 7 shots to 5.
To the margin. Just a marginal lead, as you might call it. 2 shots to Anthony Kiepe.
Very unusual turn of the palm. Ideally, keep the palm facing up on the follow through. Ray Glasser, well after the bowl has been delivered, fortunately, but just a little funny little turn of the palm. It's working well. Takes a very short step, Anthony, compared to Ray. Quite different styles. No correction at all